Hey, Judy. Hey, Ginger. Okay, so we are recording. Yay. Okay, so for those of you that don't know me, my name is Heidi Easley, and I'm the owner of Texas Art and Soul, and I am now the founder and owner of Paint Party Headquarters. And I am so excited. So Ginger, no video, that's totally fine. And you don't have to do video. So this is going to be like 2 hours of I'm going to give you everything I got, and it's a crash course. So it's a lot of information. So in order to get the most out of this, what to expect, I'm going to be, kind of looking at my notes because I want to make sure I'm giving you as much as I can in this 2 hours. The chat, anytime a question, you're like, oh my gosh, just pop it in the chat. I'll be going over everything. Every single question you have, I'm going to answer it to the best that I can. If you have to leave unexpectedly, not a big deal. There will be time for y'all to ask questions to me. As y'all can see, we're all on video here, so I get to see your smiling faces. So you're going to be able to ask questions to me. You can ask it in the chat, or if you have something specific, you can, we'll ask right there. But I'm going to kind of go over the nuts and bolts of how to get this going right away, because I am all about a profit every party. And so what I want y'all to do is, ask questions in the chat to get the most out of this, be an active listener. If you do have a lot of background noise, you should be able to hit mute like Heather did. You just kind of hit the mute in the top, I think it's in your top right. Or if you're on your phone, you can hit mute, and then you can always unmute yourself if it's, and if I hear a lot of noise, I might just mute you. So don't take offense to it. It's just because I get distracted. I'll be like, what's going on over there? You got a dog? Let me see your dog.
Yeah, I've got two dogs. You might hear them, but I'll hit mute.
Yeah, my dog might go crazy too, so I might have to bring him in here with us. And then the thing I want you, okay, and you will have a recording. So, I'm going to, again.
With it.
What? See, I told you I get distracted.
Was that you? Because it keeps going black to someone else's screen instead of you.
Oh, if somebody has a lot of background noise, it will, let me see if I can.
Because I lost your face and someone else popped up.
Yeah, if it if somebody starts to talk in another one, it'll highlight you as the speaker. So that's it, but I'll still be here. Don't worry.
Okay.
And I'm going to be doing a lot of information in a short time. So guys, I want you to first off, know this is a crash course. It's, you can't expect to go, okay, I have all the, I mean, yes, you can. You could actually plan a party from this whole thing, which I'm really excited about helping you with today. But remember, if you feel overwhelmed, that's totally normal, because you're getting, a huge course in a 2-hour time frame. So you're going to be like, oh my gosh, what'd she say here? What'd she say there? It's okay. You're going to have the recording. So just everybody take a collective deep breath and know that we still have plenty of time to make money this November and December. So, and even if you don't get your paint parties going yet, you still have all of 2019. You're getting a, fast kick in the rear here on what to do for 2019. So either way you do it. So don't frantically try to write it all down, and re-listen to this. So while you go for a walk, or maybe you're driving somewhere, just put it on your speaker or whatever in the car, and just re-listen to it, because it is a lot of information. And the other thing, I want you to keep an open mind. So I teach women all over the world how to do this, I basically mentor them through Paint Party Headquarters, and have been for several years through an online course. And so what I want you to remember is a lot of people come to me that maybe they've already been teaching paint parties, but now they're stalled and they cannot figure out why they can't get new customers. So since I've been doing this for many, many years, I have kind of figured out how to do that, and I'm going to share that with you today. So I want you to keep an open mind. Sometimes we are stuck in a rut, which I think those of you here, I know Jude, are you in Costa Rica, Jude? And welcome.
Yes, I am Costa Rica.
I'm so excited. Yeah, he's doing paint parties in Costa Rica. That makes me so happy. I know some of y'all are already, like Jude, doing paint parties, and some of y'all are brand new to this. Some of you might not have even really started painting yet. You just know you're really good at signs, or you kind of like this craftiness or whatever it is. So I'm going to teach you kind of a different mindset around it. You may think, oh, that's a little weird, Heidi, but I'm going to teach you, it's 90% about marketing, which a lot of people don't like to hear that. But once you just kind of take an open mind, again, I am always learning, and I have people above me that I pay to help teach me. And so I'm always constantly investing in my own education for online business and for paint parties, constantly, so that I can make sure my business continues to grow and not get stale. So no matter what stage you're at, whether you're at the beginning, at very beginning of this adventure, or whether you're already starting it and you've started to stall, this is going to help you. And I'm going to, like I said, we'll have a full-on question and answer, and put stuff in the chat as long as you need. And then I want to give you just a quick background about painting with a twist. So have y'all heard of painting with a twist?
No.
No. Oh my gosh. Carolyn, where are you from? Can you hear me, Carolyn?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Where are you
No,
from?
I'm in Seattle.
Seattle. It's just now getting over on that side of the world.
Yeah, that's right. It's kind of new here. Although it seems to me like in my area, there's at least 3 restaurants that do a monthly paint party. And it's so popular. I know.
Okay, so here's the thing. And Heather, you can put in the chat where you're at, because I know you said you haven't heard of it. Painting with a Twist started in December of 2007. So a lot of these, Colorado. Okay, awesome. So basically it's kind of like you go to a place and you, bring your own wine, and then you paint. And it's kind of like centered around, drinking, fun, socializing, all of this. Well, I kind of I do the same thing, but I kind of take it mobile. So whether I'm teaching in a restaurant, in a country club, wherever the case may be, I also like to teach at churches, because, you probably know from, reading my emails, I talk openly about God, and I just love bringing all of that in, because I can't separate the two. I just can't. So if you're offended by that, I apologize, but I cannot separate God and my business, because that's all that's what's brought my whole business together. So I'm not against drinking. When I do them at the restaurants, I of course have a drink with my paint party participants, because I like to have a drink here and there. But I also love the fact I love doing big paint and praise events. And basically that's where I didn't realize God would have me do that, but that's where I'll share my testimony, and then we actually do a painting event. But what I'm going to teach you today is just trying to get a profit every party. And, over 10 years ago, we filed bankruptcy. We lost everything, our home, my husband lost his job, and all of that. And so we were in a position where when I started teaching these paint parties, I was an art teacher, but I didn't have extra money to go get a business loan. I didn't have, $100,000 to buy a Painting with a Twist franchise, which again, I love Painting with a Twist, and they are paving the way for you and I. And they are totally paving the way for what's going on. But it's a lot of money, and it takes months and months for you to get the franchise. And if you get approved for the franchise and you have all of that money to do it, then you are a sitting duck waiting for people to come to you. And the way I teach women all over the world is how, and Jude, you're a guy, I'm not leaving you out. The way I teach y'all is to not be a sitting duck. I teach you to go where the business is. I teach you how to pivot it. I also teach you how to not, let's say all of a sudden you want to teach a wreath class, or you want to teach, jewelry making, or maybe you have a candle, or whatever it is. I'm going to teach you today, it's all about, you're basically an event planner, and you're setting up this space for these women, these men, whoever's coming to have fun at this place. And when you do it that way, it is unreal how many opportunities are out there. But when you think, oh, it has to be on Canvas and it has to be at this place and it has to be that way, of course you're not going to get any business. You're like stuck. Like there's only one way to do it. There's like a million ways to do it. And just to tell you real quick, I mean, I teach slime parties and it's, you know, for kids, and it is such a moneymaker. And I had a lady, oh my gosh, she has a brick and mortar downtown, and she was kind of like, not mean to me, but kind of thinking, like kind of looked down on me like, you know, that's not real art. And I'm like, it's feeding my family, and I'm not advertising it as fine art. I'm advertising it as an event for kids, and I just made $600 in 2 hours. Like, I don't think that's a bad thing, you know? So I think it's a matter of what your goal is. My goal is obviously to provide food for my family and our house over our head and never to go bankrupt again, right? We all have a driving force. And so I think it's important to remember that. So I'm just going to I really like for y'all to leave with kind of some action steps. So I'm going to have some action steps for you to do, almost like homework. I know this is just a one-time course, but almost like homework, because I want you to leave here and actually book a party. And right now is the time. It's the easiest time of year to book parties right now, because you can go to pretty much any restaurant around and show them some cute, you know, Christmas thing that you've created, and you pretty much have a booking. So just keep an open mind, and just remember, marketing is 90% of it. So, and again, thank y'all for being here. You know, I know a lot of you are going to watch the replay, but especially those of y'all that had time today to be here and to ask questions in person, I hope it really helps you. So, okay, so we have Heather Durango. Renee says, I'm in Alabama. I've heard with Painting with a Twist. I think there's one in Pensacola. Yeah, the South has a lot of them. I have a Painting with a Twist a couple miles from my house. So do not worry if you have one. I moved here before they opened. So sometimes the lady, I heard around town, she was kind of upset at me because I was at a restaurant. And I'm like, I was here first. But I never care, because again, I'm not counting on just Granbury. Okay. And I want y'all to think of that. I want you to think of a 2-hour radius. Okay. So, all right, so I'm going to start going through here. So I want to tell you too, one last thing. And again, I'm going to go straight to it. I'm so sorry. I'm a yapper. That's why I scheduled it for 2 hours. I knew I couldn't do it in one, because I have so much to share. Okay, so Brenda, she is in Pink Party headquarters, and she's a grandma. And when she joined like an online course I did. She had only painted 5 paintings in her whole life. Like, she had just started painting. And so then she started teaching like up to 40 people at a time at her churches. So guys, and she was doing it during the day, during the week, because she didn't want to work nights or weekends. And so that like debunked my myth of like, well, it's got to be at night. No, it doesn't. Like, it can be any time. You set your boundaries and your perimeters, and then you schedule it that way. So, yeah, so I want you to know, it doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter if you just started, started exploring the painting thing. It's okay. And I'm going to tell you too, in a little bit, I'm going to put this down in my notes, about how I'm teaching 4 at a time and not even painting. You're probably like, how are you doing that? Not even painting during the event. Yeah, I'm going to make sure you're on that. Yeah, so it's pretty awesome. I have some things to show y'all too. Okay, so first off, I just want to give you some action steps, and then I'm going to kind of go into all of y'all's questions, because I know a lot of times it's almost like easier to learn as you're asking questions, and then it just helps me get all the stuff out. So profit every party. And the reason I say this is so many people try to go out there and buy 20 easels, okay? If you were to buy these full price, these are my favorite that I recommend. They're the collapsible Michaels. Again, this will be on the recording. Collapsible Michaels easels. You can get all of this stuff on sale during Black Friday, during any holiday. All of that is going to be on sale. So instead of like going out and buying 20 of these at $19.99 each, don't teach with easels yet, guys. It's that simple, okay? And wait until Black Friday when they're like $7 to $9 a piece. That's what I do. And these aprons, apronsbythecase.com. Aprons by the Case. I'm going to put it in the notes, the chat here. Oh, and if y'all don't mind, if you'll introduce yourself and just put where you're from in the chat. I'm sorry, I should have said that at the beginning. I love seeing where everybody's from. Okay, so Mary Jane's in Utah. Welcome. Oh, I want to go to Utah one day. I heard it's so beautiful. Okay, so Aprons by the Case. I can get these for $5 before they're monogrammed. Okay. Now, when I was first starting all of this, I did not have aprons. I recommend not buying aprons. I just flew to Florida for an event last month. I did not have enough room in my luggage to bring aprons and easels. So guess what? 65 women painted without aprons and easels. And guess what? It didn't matter. They still had fun. They still had a great time. And I didn't have to pay for, 2 to 3 more bags of luggage and hauling all of this around. So again, so many people will stop themselves because they'll say, I don't have the aprons yet, or I don't have the easels yet. I can't be official. That's bull crap, guys. You can still do it. And all of my brushes when I first started were just random brushes I grabbed from my art studio. I had, I'm a painter. I've always been a painter, so I just had all these random brushes. And that's what I used when I first started. I didn't go out and buy all brand new brushes. And so I just want y'all to know when you're starting this, use what you have, a profit every party. And when you do that, and I'm going to show you how to get your first party started. And I'm going to also tell you how to get new customers at your party so you're not always bothering your friends and family. And you can also, so many people stop themselves. When I was getting these ordered, it took me 2 freaking weeks to finally decide on the logo. 2 weeks. I was like, the lady at Aprons by the Case finally was like, Heidi, just make a decision. And I was like, I guess I should. I mean, I was like stopping myself from moving forward from a stupid logo. This isn't even I don't even have a logo, officially. I don't even really have one. And guess what? A logo makes me no money. Nothing. It makes me no money. Nobody cares. People will be wearing this and go, what's the name of your business? Nobody's even looking at it, right? So don't let decisions like this stop you from just today when we get off the phone going out and contacting somebody. Because I'm telling you, when you make a profit every party, that's when you are going to gain confidence. You're going to start gaining momentum. And that's when it happens. So all the little stupid details, like an apron with a logo, just throw all of that to the back burner for later. None of that matters. I want you out there teaching a party right now and then make some money from it. Then you're going to be motivated. Then you're going to be like, well, that was awesome. I just brought in $350 in a couple hours with 10 people. What could happen if I had 15? What could happen if I did this once a month? So don't let the little decisions stop you. I had a sweet lady. She's in my mentorship group. She was like, what about the paint? What if they put too much paint on their plate? And I'm like, you are worried about pennies. These people are paying you $35, $40 a head. Who cares if they waste $2 in paint? Let them play. Let them have fun. And whenever you just let all of those little, I hate to say stupid, but I'm saying this with lots of love. When you let those little things go that really, really don't matter, and that's when you're going to start making progress in your business, because it's more about showing them love, showing them kindness, letting them have a fun night to play than it is about, oh my gosh, I saved 10 cents on not putting out this paint, right? Or the logo on the apron. It's all about being sweet to them and showing them love during that. Okay, so we have Ginger from Southeast Georgia. Oh, and if y'all have any background noise, if you'll do your mute. I hear somebody with a TV on. What is it, Judy? Okay, I think I got her. Okay, I muted Judy. Judy, I muted you. I'm sorry. I think I heard your TV. But if you want to say something, just put it in the comments or just tell me you want unmuted and I'll unmute you. Okay, so we have Elsha. She's from let's see, San Antonio. Oh, you're close to me. Carolyn from Seattle. And then let's see, Elja says, I purchased 100 disposable aprons from Amazon for about $10 until I could afford real. That's awesome deal. That's a great deal. You'll have to, if you don't mind, message that in the chat for everybody. The link if you have it. That's awesome. Yeah, so $10. So, you know, and again, I've done so many parties without aprons. It's not even funny. Okay, so here's what I want you to do first. How many, just give me in the comments, how many of y'all have already taught paint parties? How many of y'all are brand new? So put either brand new or put how many you've taught. I want to see kind of like what I need to approach more, like put more time on. And feel free if you need to go to the restroom, get a drink. There's no rules here. Maybe it's Mary Jane. Hold on. I think it might be Mary Jane. Okay, so I muted her. Okay. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, if you're new to Zoom, it's not a big deal. I can mute here, so I just don't think I'm being rude for muting. Brand new teaching, but already painting. Oh, good, Ginger. Great. Let's see. New, but I did one prototype party with 6 friends. Guinea pig party. Yay.
Yeah, that's what it was.
How did it go?
It went really well. Everybody finished their painting. I only did 8 by 10 canvases because I didn't know, you know.
Oh, no, that's fine.
But everyone finished their painting. They were all happy. They had a really good experience. And I felt like it was a good one for me because I learned where I went wrong. I got too much into doing my own painting sometimes and abandoned the other painters.
Good luck.
And, you know, things like that. But we had wine. And so, you know, I did have to go around and help people with, you know, the brush, the paint with the brush, paint on the brush, that sort of thing twice, just, you know, with 2 separate people. And that helped a lot to break the ice, get them to relax. And my husband went with me and he sat off to the side, sort of invisible, so that he could sort of observe and assess where he thought I had strengths and weaknesses. And that helped me a lot.
Oh, that was sweet of him.
Yeah. So he made notes and we're working on this together. He's not an artist. He has no desire to paint. And secretly, he won't say this, but I think he secretly thinks painting is a huge waste of time. But anything that's going to help us supplement our Social Security, he's really into, you know.
There you go.
So, yeah.
And unless you, like, everybody has a different outlet. Some people like to go work out, which I do not. Some people like to go swimming, which I love. Some people love to paint. Some people love to crochet. Some people love to go run, you know. And so everybody has a different thing. So, yeah, you're not trying to have everybody fall in love with painting. You're just trying to find those people who want to social and gather, who are already you know, your customers. For example, my mother-in-law, when she even thinks I'm teaching people how to do this stuff, she's like, who would want to learn that? And I'm like,
right?
Really, Sheree, you are not my customer. You are not my customer. Stop. Like, I just sometimes can't even talk business about her because, you know, she is so not artsy or care about any kind of thing like that. And I'm like, that's what I do for therapy. Like, that's my time. Like, when I'm in my art studio, like, that is my love, my passion, my everything. That's what brings me hope, brings me, you know, just, I don't know, it just, I feel like it cures depression. It's just amazing.
Right.
And so when I, you know, can bring that to a paint party in a fun way, or even in a Christian setting in a church, you know, we have to remember, like, just like your husband, it's not his thing, but it doesn't mean it's not 1,000 other girls' thing, or, you know, guys with us that, you know, is into this. So, okay, so let's see. Jude is brand new. You've taught a few parties though, right, Jude? How many parties have you taught already in Costa Rica? I think I unmuted you. Hold on, let me see. Hold on, Jude. Let me see. Let me get you. Unmute audio. Okay, there we go. How many of you taught already? I think you've done a few.
Okay, I think this is the ninth time that I had a paint party.
That's great.
See, the problem is I also teach art, like the serious people who want to learn how to paint and draw. So my clients for the paint party are also my art students. And I wanted to know how to get new ones, you know, like those that are not in my art student area, you know, like what you're doing. So I wanted to know the strategy of getting new people.
Yes, okay, I'm gonna give you that because so you're teaching serious art classes, which is
Yeah.
totally awesome and great, but we need to market your painting parties as parties. So you're
Okay.
gonna have your serious class where it's gonna be, your flyers are gonna be more instructional, more, official. And then when you have a paint party, your flyers are gonna reflect a paint party. So let me see if I can show y'all real quick. Let me see. I think it'll let me share my screen. And I have all y'all's questions on the side. Zoomtopia, that sounds fun. Okay, so don't judge my desktop. Are y'all okay with not judging my desktop? Don't judge it, or I'm gonna show my husband.
It looks like mine.
Yeah, I have a problem. I do have a problem. Okay, so here is Jude. Can you see that? Can y'all see this, everybody?
Yes.
Okay, so this is reflection of a party. Like when they come, they know it's not going to be serious art. They know that we're not trying to tackle 1,000 techniques. It's just having fun at the local goat distillery, which is a mixed drink kind of place, and basically there's just there's the main things you need. What it is, painter's choice. This is the one I told y'all about where I teach 4 at a time. I don't really teach 4. What I do, and this is a really great idea for y'all to use for restaurants. What I do is I do a lot of prep work beforehand, but the whole evening is a blast. So these classes fill up. So I sold out my last one. I've almost sold out this one, and I have 40 spots at $40 a person. So 40, let's see, I'm not the best at math. $40 times 40 is 16. So it's $1,600 for the night, right? And it is so much fun. I seriously just grab this peach Bellini that's so delicious, and I just walk around and yap to everybody. And what I do is, this was one I did last month. I take a Word document, and I basically write down each step. So if they chose the cactus, let's say they chose the Christmas camper, it would say Christmas camper, step 1. Grab your big brush, and I would have on the camper, I would have this little design already pre-drawn for them. Now, here's where people kind of, they have to do their mind. Remember I told y'all you have to like switch your mind into a little bit of a different way. Is that doing it on me? What's going on? I don't know why it's drawing. I don't know why it's drawing purple lines. I'm sorry. That is so weird. So what you have to remember is, okay, so it's not about them coming and learning a bunch of new techniques. I purposely, and just so y'all know, my degree is in marketing. I have a bachelor's degree in communication, a minor in psychology, and I got my teacher certification for art K through 12. So I have never officially had I took a few fine art classes for my associates of art, but I don't officially have like this fine arts degree. And what I've realized, I think that's helped me in a lot of ways, because I know some of the terms from teaching art for 10 years, but I purposely use words like blob and swoosh. And I think blend is the most technical art term I use in one of these events. And the reason why is our market for paint parties, okay, and again, I've been doing this for many, many years. the market for paint parties is people wanting to have fun. I used to have them actually freehanding everything. And once I brought a tracer one time, I had like 55 people at this party. They all used the tracer. It was a reindeer. And I was like, huh, that's interesting. And so then the next time I brought a couple tracers, they all used the tracer again. And so from then on, I just started kind of having it pre-drawn if I can. So like this, I would have pre-drawn. So when they come in, they would pay for the event, which I'm going to tell you, Jude and everybody else, how to get people that are not your friends and family. They would pay for the event, and then I would just email them because they paid me through PayPal, and I would say, which one do you want, along with all the other little details. So let me just show y'all. While I got you right here. Okay, so I have a tally right here of people who've paid. Okay, so right now we're at 23 people out of 40. So what I do, and this is just an easy like Word document. What I do is I have this written right here, and all I have to do is copy and paste it. So anytime I go to my email and somebody has paid for this event, which I'm going to show you how to share it on social media in a minute, they are going to get this email. This does 3 things. It first off gets me to have them choose it, because I'm going to create a Ziploc baggie, with their notes for which one they chose, their brushes, a little piece of paper that tells how to enter the door prize. They're also going to get little plastic things like this with lids with their colors of paint on it. It doesn't mean that they can't choose any other color. But they are basically going to be using their little Ziploc packet as their night of painting. I'm just basically walking around helping everybody the whole night. They get stuck on a spot. That's why those instructions are really important. It'll say, step 1, grab the big brush. Use red paint, paint the full bottom of the camper. And then I'll have them take a picture of it on the instructions, like take a picture of the camper close up with your cell phone. And that way you can do 4 of these without you standing in front of a room. Step 1. Step 2. Step 3, you actually have more of a social interaction. It's pretty awesome. So what this does is it gives me which one they want. And then 2, I'm right here, I'm creating the urgency because this one will sell out. So I need to let them know there's 13 spots left if you want in. So if they have friends, because they've already paid, so if they have friends that are trying to come, they need to get their friends to sign up right away because they can't pay at the door. And then the third thing, it gets everybody here on time, okay? Please arrive a few minutes early to get a seat. We will be in the distillery. It's awesome. There will be great drinks and food to order when you get there. I recommend coming around 5:45 to get a seat with your friends. So it's just setting the expectation of what's going on. So this flyer right here is short, sweet, to the point. Here's your 4 choices. They're all wood designs. Thursday, November 15th, 6 to 8:30, $40. Register in advance by emailing me. Now, the reason why I have an email on here is because, and I know all of y'all probably have these, but this is like the best way to advertise events for free. So if you go to your Facebook page, and this is the buy, sell, trade groups. Now, I don't know how it's run in Costa Rica, but as far as the United States go, y'all should all easily have access to this. So you just go to, and I'm going to see if there's one for Costa Rica. Let's see. Oh, we got a chat going. Oh yeah, and Heather said she's hosted gatherings with young girls that use art for self-expression, but new to the paint party concept. Oh my gosh, those young girls are gonna love these paint parties because you can do splatter paint events. Oh my gosh, I've done tons. I mean, I've taught for 10 years, so lots of fun parties with kids. Taught 2 years in California with paint night. Oh, awesome. So you have lots of experience, Elsha. 1 year in San Antonio with Nuno's Palette, and started my own earlier this year, but only about 1 to 2 classes per month. Okay, good. And then Elsha, in a little bit, I want you to type what's
Are you ready?
your struggle.
Did you?
Yeah, but I got enough stuff like.
Hold on, let me see. Okay, I think I got it. Okay, so Elsha, if you can post what's been your biggest struggle, if you're wanting more than 1 to 2 classes a month, and if you've had a big struggle, and I think this buy-sell trade thing is going to help y'all. And Jude's on his 8th paint party. And Ginger, guinea pig paint party. Yes, guinea pig party is so easy to do. You just grab a couple friends and family. You could even do it for free around your dining room table. And then just basically say, hey, I'm thinking, I'm doing this new business and I just want to do this and get some pictures while you're painting and just have fun together. Do you mind letting, being my guinea pig? And by doing that, you're kind of taking the pressure off yourself, and you just gotta, you just gotta have fun, and you kind of get that, like the way that you do it down, the way you're going to talk, all of that stuff. Let's see, me too, totally therapy art. Yes, definitely, Ginger. Where do you have the flyers printed, and where do you distribute the flyers? My biggest struggle is finding places to teach and having businesses commit. Okay, I love these questions. Keep them coming. Okay, so here is kind of my secret trick. I did not realize this was going to be so helpful, but if you go to your local Facebook or your Facebook and then just type in buy, sell, trade, and then your county. So mine's Hood County. So usually there's anywhere from 5 to 100 groups within a 2-hour radius of you. Okay. So I'm going to see if Costa Rica. Oh yeah, Costa Rica has them too. They do. So all you have to do is type in buy, sell, trade, and then your county or however Costa Rica does it. But all of y'all in America or wherever you're located, just do buy, sell, trade, or swap. See how many already came up? And this is just in my town, my county. This isn't even within 2 hours. That's why I like to have y'all think about it, even just an hour radius. I sent off letters and flyers to churches a few weeks ago. I do this about every year. I send this. I basically will spend an hour, and this is kind of one of your homework pieces. I spend an hour and I just go to, if I'm wanting to do churches or restaurants or whatever it may be. So if it's churches, I have a postcard that I've created. Okay. And this postcard is just, pictures, but you can create this in Canva, Canva, canva.com. And again, I told y'all this was a lot of information, but I promise it's all on the record. So don't worry. Canva.com. And so what I do is about once a year, I will send out 50 of these. Okay. So when I send out 50 of something, I'm expecting probably 1 to 3 returns. You might think, well, why is it even worth doing a letter and a postcard for 50 of these? Well, it costs me under $40 or $40 to $50 to send them. That's one person, 1.5 people painting. So I always end up with 1 to 2 churches from sending 50 of these. And when you have a church event, you usually have a giant church event. And when you have a church event, you build that relationship, and that can be a place you go to every year. So for me to invest $50 and to have it repeated, year after year, it's always worth it. Okay. So and sometimes I won't hear back from these people for 6 months, and then they'll be like, oh, I got your card and we were thinking about a women's retreat. I'm like, yes, please. I would love to. That's my specialty. And the letter that I send them, this one I customized for Christmas. I just put 2 pictures, one of my best sellers, which is the truck and tree. That's another thing, especially those of you that might have been in fine art. This is about fun. Okay. So, think more I used to do a lot of Starry Night parties. Instead, you can do Starry Night. It's a really fun one, but give yourself 3 hours because it takes that and possibly more. I've taught even kids Starry Night. So those are great, but I want you to think more cutesy. I used to be like, I am not a crafter. I'm not a crafter. I used to have this I'm not going to do craft project, because I was an art teacher for 10 years and I'm doing art. We are not doing stupid crafts, right? And I had this mindset of it's going to be artsy. And when I first started my business, I would go to these extreme measures to make lots of really cool art. And it would, then nobody would buy it and nobody would sign up. And I'm beating my head against the wall. Why will they not just sign up for my parties? And it finally hit me because I would do something real cute and they would flock, right? And I would have this cute thing. So this truck and tree pretty much sells itself, right? So this truck and tree, and the way I still bring art into it, because you can go into any store right now and you can literally buy a truck and tree, a happy camper. You can buy those off the shelf all day, okay? So it's not that it's unique. It's not that, it's, particularly different. It's not different at all. But the way I do it is I add, you can see in my truck and tree, a lot of people that teach these paint parties, they'll just do a really flat red with a couple highlights and they're done. So I feel like the reason why my parties have stayed successful and people feel like they're getting more out of it is I'm mixing the cutesiness with still feeling like when they leave, they've accomplished something other than just a solid paint by number. They've actually blended some reds, some coppers. So I always any of my paintings you'll see, and even if they're cutesy, I still try to, here's the 4 that are coming up. I still try to make it fun for them. Oh, I didn't mean to ask a question, Facebook. Sorry. My mouse got away from me. So even in here, they're going to be using a vinyl stencil for the Merry Christmas, so they don't have to freehand. The joy is a freehand, but again, I walk them straight through that. The ornament is a tracer. The hippopotamus, I bring stencils for the hippo. I'll bring a bunch of stencils that I buy. This again, I use with painted prayers. And I can talk about that too in a little bit if y'all would like. But really providing a place for them to just have a blast, but not just have a blast. Leave with something that they're going to actually put out every year and be proud of. So this is the Christmas camper. Again, it's not, rocket science art here, but it's cute and people love it, and every time I do an event, I bring my next month's event parties with me. So all my Christmas designs were out for this October event. So everybody's talking about it. They're all telling me I had all my Christmas. I can't wait to do the truck and tree. Look at this. Let me show y'all my local goat sign up sheet. I think almost all of them are truck and tree. Okay, so here's where they're sign up. Okay, so I have truck and tree, Christmas camper, truck and tree, joy sign, truck and tree, Christmas camper, truck and tree, truck and tree, truck and tree, truck and tree. I mean, if that tells you anything, it's not, they're not trying to get a full-on, famous artist lesson. This is all about creating a fun party kind of atmosphere and fellowship, Okay, so how many participants in your church events? Anywhere, Carolyn, from 10 to, I always say I can teach 10 to 200. My largest event ever has been 129. I have lots of events of 50, 60, 75, but my goal is to hit 200. I thought I was going to make it this year. I'm praying I'll still make it this year. I'm I know God has a plan. It was several years ago, someone I walked into just randomly. I was just driving around, going into churches, and I don't recommend that because I found a better way that I will tell you. But the lady was well, can you do 500? And they were having a huge thing come up. And I looked at her with about to pee my pants, and I was like, yes, ma'am, I can do 500. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, it's happening. I'm getting the big party, 'cause that's my, I love the big events. I love planning them. I think it's so much fun. And so, we went back and forth, and it ended up not happening. And then when I did the 129 people, I was like, God knew I was not ready yet for 500 people. I would have been a disaster. I probably wouldn't have made any profit, you know, because they were trying to do like a group rate. And I'm like, my business wasn't ready for that at that time. Now I'm ready. But now I got to wait for the people. So, but here's the thing. Don't feel like it's, you know, don't be afraid to start slow. Start small. I still do parties of, you know, I try to do a minimum of 10. But a couple months ago, only 6 showed up and 10 had registered. And it was a country club where they actually charged the account and I get a check afterwards. So, you know, I was kind of frustrated because I usually like to have at least 10, but it was when I commit to something, I never go in resentful. You know, that's why it's so important that you don't go out and spend $1,000 buying aprons, buying all of these things that you feel like you have to have right now. No, like get a party booked and then figure out what you need and then just get what you need and then you have a profit. Now you have a profit, you're going into the second party. You don't have your family going, wait, you're spending how much on what? And then they see you doing another party and they're like, oh, we just got $300 extra. Maybe we should, you know, this is something cool. So have a profit every party so that you don't feel the burden. And when you do it, you're always like, I'm all in. I mean, you know, I don't know if y'all can tell that about my personality, but like I'm all in, like I want to help and I want to be there to serve these people that are painting and having fun. So what is a tracer and do you have an inexpensive source or stencils? Great. And I'm going to go back to Hood County and the buy-sell trade. Yeah, tracer. Okay, so the cheap way I've done it and even do it now sometimes is a poster board from the dollar store. I'll create my painting. And then if you're doing canvas, which guys, this, I'm going to put this in the chat. This resource, I just love them. I wish I would have found them. And if you don't mind, I don't get any cutback from it, but I just like them to know that I refer people. So in the notes, if you'll just put Heidi referred me. Craftcreations.com. It is a weird spelling. So you have got to spell it the right way or you'll never find them. And this is why I tell people, do not pick a business name that is hard to spell. Just don't do it. It is a nightmare. Just don't do it. Because then you're like, find me on Facebook. And, oh, no, it's a K, not a C. Oh, it's a Z, not an S. Don't do it. It's just not smart business. Okay? Just don't do it. So, yeah, just pick a normal name. But yeah, so this website right here, this is where, I mean, we have a little thing that my husband used to cut all my stuff out. He actually cut this truck and tree. But I just like to hire them. It's a couple out of Oklahoma. It's a husband-wife team and they have a big machine. So if you order 20 or more, you get like free shipping and they're really good. And they're really thick. So like mine that I use, which is Revolutionary Plywood. Revolutionary Plywood at Lowe's. It's really thin, so it's really light. So if you're hanging it on wreaths, it's really great. But theirs that I order, you can see the difference in thickness. Really, really thin. I mean, it's really thick. But I always, you can do this on canvas. So these designs, you can do on canvas just as easy as you can do on wood. So if you're in a location where you can't really get, you know, wood cutouts, or maybe you're not wanting to cut your own, you can totally do any of these designs on canvas. Or like this one, this is just, when I fly places, I'll actually design something on this wood because I have access to hardware stores. And so I don't have to fly my wood out. I'll just go to Lowe's or to Home Depot or whatever hardwood store you have. And then I have them cut it for me at the store. Sometimes they do it for free. Sometimes they charge me $0.25 a cut. And so it's like $1. It costs me $1 for the background. Okay. Because what I've noticed in this paint party trend is that canvas, yes, is still working, but not as well as wood. It doesn't necessarily have to be a shape. It could easily be a piece of wood. I mean, literally, this is like just a long piece of wood, and I just have them cut in 4s. But just the difference of just having something different than a regular canvas. those of you in other countries, those of you on the West Coast, this is all still brand new. Like you are brand spanking new to this. A lot of places have not even heard of it. So you have this, I mean, get your restaurants this week. Like you could literally make a crap ton of money. And I'm not trying to, I'm just so excited for you. You can literally make so much money in the next 2 months if you take action this week. And Costa Rica, yeah, I bet it is really new there. So if you market it and you be the front runner, you could have just a couple of restaurants and really build those up. Like don't run yourself ragged. I've done this business every way. I didn't have a mentor when I first started, so I was just like figuring it out. And I wish so much somebody would have sent me a crash course for $47. I would have paid it 100 times over because I have made every mistake in the book. So don't, try to run yourself ragged with every party of 5. Find a couple of good restaurants that have a big space and then work a relationship with them. And I don't pay to rent my restaurants. I talk to him and I say, hey, is there a slow night? I'd love to do this event with you. I think, I'm going to have people here for 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours, drinking and eating. And the local goat literally said, come any day you want. Like they're a brand new business. They're within 5-minute meeting. I'd never met the lady before. I had, October, November, December, January, all the dates already set. We did it right there in 5 minutes. So guys, just don't underestimate the power of praying before you message somebody or talk to somebody, and also being willing to know, okay, I'm flexible. Do you have a slow night? I thought this would be really cool to add to your events. We could do it once a month. I don't do more than once a month at a restaurant because I do have a friend that does every week at the same restaurant. She has a pretty massive following, but I only do once a month because I would rather pack out a once a month and know it's really great and solid than me being scattered and booking for events all over, 4 times that month and getting maybe 8 where I could just get 40 all at once. So, so it matters, it depends on how you want to do it. Let's see, what's the dimensions of your wood board? It is a 16 by, no, it's a 14 long by 16 by 20. No, I lied. It's 18 long by 8, 7. I think it's like a 18 by 7 or 18 by 6. 18 by 6. Sorry about that. I was trying to compare it with that. 18 by 6. Okay, have you not heard about it? They have not heard about it. How do you get people to paint in the restaurant? Yeah, restaurants are awesome. Okay, so let me tell you, finish the buy, sell, trade, and then I'm going to tell you how to get restaurants. Because restaurants right now are really, really easy to get this time of year especially. So if you go to buy, sell, trade giveaway, you're going to find tons of groups. Okay, so here's one of the groups. That's almost 12,000 members that are not on your personal Facebook page that are literally in that group looking to spend their money. That is what they're doing. They are in the group trying to spend their money. You have to join these groups. So some of what you want to do is just go through, search all those groups, join them, get creative with the words, buy, sell, trade, buy, sell, swap, or give away. Just make sure it's in your radius. So I'm close to Dallas, Fort Worth. I could literally spend the next 8 hours searching groups in Dallas, Fort Worth and find probably 100 to 200 easy. Because people start these groups and then they have rules, and then people are selling. Oh, there's mine right up top. Oh man, it rejected. Dang it. Okay, so sometimes they'll reject it. This is a good learning thing for you. Sometimes it gets rejected, okay? So it depends on what it is. So the rules, sometimes they allow just garage sale items. Sometimes they allow, you could post real estate. It depends on the rules. So what I would do is now I would go to this one, take it off, and then I would go to another group that allows it. Some of them say buy, sell, trade, do anything you want page. Like you can put on anything. So, so when you get yours, this is all I do. I put what it is, painting party at the local goat. Only 13 spots left. This event will sell out. Register ASAP. And then I put email Heidi Easley to get your ticket. So then that way people are going to email me, and people have just random garage sale stuff, everything. So it just depends on the group. And groups, again, like I said, you know, you just have to know which ones you can do it on. Now Facebook has a thing where it says, once you've joined a bunch of groups, it just says post to marketplace, and it'll let you post to like all the groups you've joined all at once. So I just post to all, and then I submit, and I'm done. And then once the event happens, then I go back and I just delete the flyer. But that was one of the ways when I didn't even realize, my mom, she always watches the garage sale sites, and she's like, I'm going to post your event in this garage sale site. And she kept bumping it. This was years ago. And she kept like bumping it. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's like 70 something people signed up. And this is at a restaurant. And then it was like 80. I mean, we ended up with like, I think that one was 119. I think we ended up with the highest there, but we had several of like 75. And it was a huge restaurant. They were closed on Mondays, so we would have the event there on Mondays. And it was just so cool to see. But yeah, and it was just basically this. I didn't pay for any advertisement. And let's see. I'm in Alvin, Texas. Oh, how far is Alvin from me, Judy? I'm in Granbury, close to Fort Worth. And I've been teaching classes in art for almost 10 years. I've taught 2 art is it collages or colleges? I've taught at 2, maybe colleges, a high school and a Michael's. It was very hard, but now I have a home studio and I can accommodate 14 people at a time. I have some competition doing similar paint parties close to me. I want to know to do both at my studio and to get people interested. Okay, so this is awesomeness. And what was I going to say after the buy sell trade? Can y'all remind me of that? Because I wanted to make sure I do not forget. Oh, restaurants, and then Judy's question. Okay, and then I have a whole list of questions too. Okay, so here's the thing. I only teach in my home art studio about once a year for, I'll have a kids event. And the only reason I do it is because a lot of the parents that I did teach from, they request it. And if I don't have a kids location, I'll just kind of throw a party together. It's easy money and it's fun, but I do not like to have it at my home. It is harder to fill home events, okay? I'm not saying it's impossible, and I'm not saying you can't do it, because again, this is your business. You can do it any way you want, but it's almost like the same kind of feeling of a brick and mortar. It's like you're waiting for people to come. Like here it is, you're waiting for them to come. So what I recommend is having it, like marketing it where you can have it there. You can even on your buy sell trade pages, you could do a post with, you know, one of your great paintings, one of your Christmas paintings that say something like booking parties now for your Christmas parties, for your corporate Christmas parties, or for your, like, say all the things, like say corporate Christmas parties, ladies night out, neighborhood parties, you know, just list all those off. And then that way people can message you if they're interested. I'm not saying a home studio can work. I'm just saying it, to me, it's been harder. And again, I love when people prove me wrong. So please prove me wrong and message me about it later, because then it kind of opens my mind. Because I mean, anything is possible, right? You know, just like brick and mortars are happening and they're fine. But I just like to train and mentor people to be mobile and go to the restaurants. Because like if I had a restaurant that was working really, really well, then it started dwindling. And so then I just went to a new restaurant and now it's packed again. So it's almost like people, you know, you have the ability to change with what's happening. So if all of a sudden my canvas parties aren't selling anymore, now I'm going to do a wood cutout and now they're all packed again. So it's really being crucial, like staying on trend. If you don't know what's trendy right now, if you don't know what's on trend, go to any Michael's, go to any Hobby Lobby, go to Pinterest. Oh my gosh, go to Pinterest and see what is on trend. because I have so many people that are like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And then I'll look at the painting they're offering and it doesn't even look like it would be fun to paint. And I'm saying that in the nicest way possible because I've done that before. I've had some awful paintings and I've had some, things that I thought, oh my gosh, it's not my best work, but hopefully it'll work. And again, marketing is everything. If they're looking at it and they're like, they're not even excited about it, they're not going to sign up. So I just like the idea of being able to like move and take your business where you need to. How much do you pay to churches and restaurants? I don't pay anything. Churches and restaurants are, again, if a restaurant is trying to charge, I'll just go to a different restaurant because, again, I'm bringing people in on a slow night where they normally wouldn't have business. I'm bringing in 10, 20, 30, 40 women, and they're buying drinks and food. So usually a business owner that, wants to work with you, they'll understand that. If they have a Tuesday where nobody's coming, and my biggest nights are Monday nights and Tuesday nights. And I know that seems really, really weird, but I can't get, like, Friday nights and Saturday nights are awful for me. I usually don't have any parties scheduled those nights. Thursday nights do good. Monday nights, Tuesday nights, and Thursday nights are my best nights. So, and Saturday mornings seem to be okay for churches, but really the Tuesday nights and things like that are what really books out. I'll have 100 people on a Tuesday night paint party, and then I can't get anyone to sign up on a Friday. So, so you have to be aware of, like, kind of people's habits. And in churches, sometimes I'll do a fundraiser, and I'll tell y'all how fundraisers work too. But churches, usually what it is like a women's event. So they're just like they would do a women's event, like a retreat. How women will pay like, $50 or $100 to go to a women's retreat. It's the same type thing. So you're basically hired as creating this event for these women. So what will happen at a church is a little different than a restaurant. A restaurant, everything is prepaid. Everything is paid in advance to the link that I send them because people are, one at a time paying me. But at church, usually I'll ask for like a $300 deposit, depending on how many. So like, let's say it's a big church and we're doing 75 people. I'll ask for a $300 deposit, which will go towards my final check. Then they'll have people sign up because and again, every single church is different. But they'll have and some churches won't allow this. Some churches are against having paid events, and that's totally fine. Especially in Texas, there's 1,000 churches within a 50-mile radius. So I just go to the next one. I had a lady, she's so sweet, but she can't get past the fact that her home church won't allow her to have a paint party. And I do not approach my home church. They approached me, and I've done events for them, but I never approach them. I don't want anything to ever be weird between my home church and them. I don't want it to ever feel like I'm trying to like get something from them. So I always wait because eventually they'll know you're doing it. If you're teaching them, they're gonna eventually see it. They'll contact me, and then I'll do the event. And they'll even, like, sometimes I just did a big event for 75, and they didn't have it in the budget because the church was going to pay for it as a fellowship, as a like generations party, and they didn't have it in the budget to do the 35 a person. So they messaged back and said, is there any way you could do 25 a person because we don't have it in the budget? And it was going to have like the women's was going to pay for half, and the children was going to pay for half, and it was like mother, daughter, granddaughter, and grandma type thing. And I was at the gym, which I don't like to go to, and I was at the gym, and I was like, 25 times 75, okay, yeah, I'll still do it. Like, it's still worth it to me. 25 times 75, I think it's 1,800. Wait, hold on. I think it's 1,800. Is that right? 25 times 75. Oh, 1,875. So I'm sitting there at the gym, and I'm like, okay, it's 1,875. It's 75 people. I know the work that it takes for that. And I know that, I don't have the money to hire out if I'm lowering my price by $10 a person. So I just messaged back and said, I can totally do that price, but is there any way we can get a team to help set up and a team to help clean up from the women's ministry? And she's like, oh yeah, no big deal. So because she did that, I didn't have to hire anybody. I didn't have to, which normally for 75, I would have hired at least 2 people. So I didn't have to hire anybody. And so then it was worth it because, again, that was a little bit of money. Plus, it was my home church. And you know, I wanted to do it for him too. And another thing, because I went to 25, I asked them if it was okay if I did a door prize to get all of their email addresses. And they said, of course. So I did several door prizes and nothing major, just some fun art supplies and little things. And I ended up with 75, well, you know, not the kids' emails, but all the parents' emails. And now a lot of those are coming to my restaurant events that are in town. So you want to look at the bigger picture. Sorry, my dog. You want to look at the bigger picture. Sometimes it's about, you know, okay, am I building this relationship? But if they would have come back and said 15, I would have said no, because I know doing 75 people, I would not have made a profit, and I would have worked my butt off. And again, I'm not a non-profit. I'm a for-profit so I can feed my family. And I think sometimes people, especially in the painting world, you know, it's fun. You know, we are having fun doing this. So many people think that we should do it for free, and that's not true. We wouldn't go to a dentist and ask them to give us a crown for free because they have a passion for teeth. No, we would not. So you have to remember, it's okay to do a fundraiser, but it's also, I kind of shot myself in the foot when I did my Florida fundraiser because I thought I had another one lined up. So I did a Florida fundraiser at a cheaper price, and then I got busy and I forgot to book my flight early, and I ended up with a $500 flight instead of a $300 flight. And I still made profit on it, but after all my expenses and giving them $10 per ticket, I ended up only making like $600 or $700 off that event. Well, $600 or $700 for 4 days of my time. I mean, I got to see my friend, which was awesome. But it did not make sense. So sometimes you have to put these boundaries in place. And I know I used to be really bad at it. I used to give so much stuff away for free. And then I started like at midnight, I'd be up painting something for somebody and they're all asleep. And I'm like, you know, frantically trying to people please. And then I realized that like they forgot they even asked me to do it, you know, like things like that. So just remember, this is a business. Treat it like a business. I'm not saying be mean, but remember that, you know, it's still about making money. It's this, especially if this is your full-time job. So yeah, so I don't pay churches or restaurants. And then can you talk about the general prep and packing up for these events for like 12 people? Oh yes, I can. Oh, south of Houston, awesome. Yeah, I did a huge church, Community of Faith over in Houston, in Waller area. Hockley, you might know it. That was a really, really cool event. Okay, so buy, sell, trade is really important. And then restaurants. Let me see. Okay, restaurants. Can y'all still hear me? Is everybody awake? Am I boring y'all? I know it's a lot. I want to get
I'm awake.
Okay, good. Everybody good? Y'all still give me thumbs up. You're good.
We can hear you.
You can?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, so restaurants. Here is the easiest and fastest way to get a restaurant. Y'all ready? It's stupid simple. Keep it stupid simple, okay? I used to try to explain what I did and they would glaze over. I'd talk for 5 minutes about what I did. Now they're like, what do you do? I teach women how to paint. Then I let them ask me, oh, that sounds interesting. Yes, anywhere from 10 to 200 people at a time. And then they asked me again. Okay, before I was like, well, I take these women and then we do the da-da-da. And I mean, it was just a mess. So get that down. I teach women how to paint. I teach step-by-step parties. You know, just get the elevator pitch down. So when I approach a restaurant, all I do is I find a restaurant, and sometimes this might be fun just to go scout a restaurant. And then all I do is I go to Facebook Messenger, I pull up the name of the restaurant. So let's say it's what's a chain? Chili's. I mean, I'm not saying Chili's, but let's say it's Chili's. And then you just go to their Facebook page and then send them a message, not a long message. This is where people always mess up, okay? You can see even in my letter, it is a very short letter. It is very to the point. Here's what it says. My name is Heidi Easley, and I teach paint and praise workshops for women's events. I can teach anywhere from 10 to 200 ladies at a time. It's a great women's fellowship event. Okay, so I have more on there, but this is a letter, and it's still not long. In a Facebook message, this is all I will put, and I'm going to type it in the thing. Hi, my name is Heidi Easley, and I teach step-by-step paintings to large events. I would love to talk to you about doing an event. Oh, hold on. Event on. I'm typing this so y'all can copy and paste it. Oh, change the name. Don't put Heidi in there. Unless it's a big event, then I'll fly out. My name is Heidi Easley, and I teach step-by-step paintings. I'm just going to take out the large events. I would love to talk to you about doing an event on one of your slow nights. Do you have time this week? Question mark. That is it. That is it. You can attach a picture of a cute painting if you want, but do not put more than that. I repeat, this is where everyone messes up. They try to word vomit all that they can do to show that they are very, 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 very good at this. Nobody cares. They are busy. They're running a restaurant. They have orders. They're trying to do all of their things. You just need a quick, to the point, and then ask a question. Do you have time this week? Okay. By you asking a question, it's triggering them. They need to respond. Okay. It's just a mental thing. It's psychology. It's just triggering them that they need to respond. And do not go into any more detail. Do not, unless they ask. And when they ask, don't word vomit again. To the point, like literally stupid, simple, to the point. And then this is what I'll do. I'll send that little Facebook message. Let's say I'm trying to get 1 or 2 restaurants in my area. I'll send that to about 15 to 20. Okay. So it's a numbers game. You can't, suck your thumb in a corner sad because you sent it to 2 people and now you don't have a paint party. All right. You have to send it to a lot of people. So about 20 of the restaurants. And again, copy paste. The restaurant you think it would work at. Don't pick a restaurant that has seating room for 6 people and it's a walk-in. Make sure it's like an area that might have a dining room. Maybe they're brand new, and brand new restaurants seem to really want to have you because they're trying to get the word out. And that's how it was with that local goat that I showed you the flyer on. They're like, come anytime you want. We just need people to fill the seats. So sometimes, something you think that might be kind of hard will end up being so easy. So once you send that, then just wait a couple days for a response. Also, if you're driving home and you're feeling gutsy, I've done this before. I'm like, oh, I feel like, I feel confident today. Let me just go talk to him, right? Just stop. I had a lady in our paint party headquarters that had that gutsy moment. I told her, I'm like, when you feel it, just go for it. Like, what's the worst that can happen? They say no. That is it. That's the worst. So go to she stopped at the VFW and she books events there every month now. When you say, do you have time this week? Does that mean to meet and talk about the business? Yes. That means do they have time to talk this week? You could put it like that. Do you have time to talk this week? And then you could put I would love to schedule some Christmas events because I know they bring in a big crowd. And you could say something like that. So that's really, and again, that is so easy to do because you're not face to face. They don't see you sweating on the other side of the computer. You're just putting that stuff out there and then waiting for who's going to respond back. And for those of you that have Painting with a Twist, or this is new, or people have heard of it, like it's been on, the Kardashians, I think, had an episode where they hired them coming out. That's our mobile paint party business, people come out and do those events. Like I do a lot of private home parties too. Those, they're educated. So a lot of times they're like, oh yeah, like that could bring people in. I've seen that, so it's good to have competition. I feel like, we don't need all the people to make our lives successful. You know, we just need our handfuls here, and there's still other people that might go to the brick and mortar. There's still people that might resonate more with somebody else. So let's see, where do you purchase the little paint cups? Walmart. Walmart are the little paint cups, and they're right by all of the section. And I actually sent y'all an email with my list of all the supplies. So y'all should have that in your inbox. It's just 2 JPEGs I put together with all the different websites and supplies. Okay, so let's see. All right, so who has a question? Do y'all want to unmute yourself? And then I'll also go over, I have a whole list of questions over here too from y'all. And this is how you get people that are not just your friends and family.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes, Carolyn.
When you do the restaurants, you're charging whatever it is, if it's $35 per person to come to the paint party. Are they obligated to buy drinks or buy a meal to get the business for the restaurant? You're not giving the restaurant any guarantee.
No, but when you put people in a room for 3 hours, they get hungry. And
Yeah,
and it's the whole social aspect of it.
right.
So, you know, when you do market these and you're marketing them at 35 and 40, it's usually a person who wants to go have a ladies' night out, and they know they've already spent 35. They're not more than likely going to go. I do have people that'll order one drink, you know, and maybe an appetizer, but there's still those people that are going to order more. And when
Right.
you're going to a restaurant on a slow night, and even if they've ordered just one drink and a thing, that's still better than them not having anybody there.
Sure. Okay, I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I used to be real, and I'm not speaking directly to you, Carolyn. I'm speaking to everybody, because I used to have this, I used to always like have my hands in other people's pockets, which I found out later that meant that I was always like worried. Could they afford it? Could they spend this? Is it too much for
Oh,
them?
yeah.
And yeah, I always had that feeling. And then somebody's like, stop spending other people's money. And it like took me back. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm just, you know, I'm an artist. I'm emotional. I want to make sure everybody's okay. You know, I've had financial trouble, so I don't want them to have, you know, and then somebody's like, you're providing this awesome experience for them. Like, they have this fun memory with their friends, and these are the people that have that money to pay for that fun memory with their friends. And once I like remembered, like, okay, there's a whole section of people out there that are looking for something like this, that will go spend another $40 at the restaurant once they get there. And here's the thing too that was really cool. I had all these women here, you know, I've always taught at the most two paintings at once. The 4 painting thing is brand new. So I'm going to give y'all my brand new secret that I just did. So last month, you know, we had 26 women this first time around, and they, you know, they're $40 a pop. They're buying drinks at another $10 a pop plus food for dinner, and they are having a blast. I am literally just drinking peach Bellinis, walking around laughing, like telling them, okay, y'all got to stop. I mean, they're letting me taste their drinks. I'm like, guys, I'm not going to be able to teach you if I am still having drinks, you know, like I am a lightweight. And so, I mean, we're just having fun. Like, I feel like I'm at this, I was invited to this party, you know, although I got to clean it all up. But, you know, besides that, like, I got paid to be at this party. And then my mother-in-law was there, and she was like, Heidi, she's like, they are loving this. She's like, you need to come up with a special, because January has always been my down month, like always. That's why I do so many parties in November and December, because I quit teaching full-time. So this is my full-time income, my paint parties. And I'm not just a person who did a few paint parties and am telling y'all this is how you do it. I mean, I have a paint party next week. Like, I do them all the time. That's my bulk of my income. And so my mother-in-law's like, they are excited. Like, you need to come up with something. And so the restaurant that's new, that was so happy that I approached them, that immediately grabbed on and said, yes, let's book for these next 4 months. Again, that's what I'm saying. Like, sometimes there might be a restaurant just waiting for something like this. They've been busy and haven't contacted somebody, and then you show up and they're like, yes, that's great. And you never know where that relationship's going to lead. Well, my mother-in-law was kind of like talking to everybody during it, and I'm walking around just laughing and having fun. Again, it's about service and grabbing paint for them and being nice to them and getting to know them. The best question, if you're an introvert, the best question you can ask anybody at a paint party, if you have no idea how to start a conversation, is when you're walking around helping them, all you have to say is, so what's new and exciting in your life? That is it. That is the secret weapon of questions, because you're asking a positive thing. So the conversation's not going to go to my ailments or, something sad that happened in my life. We're keeping them excited and we're letting them have fun. And I don't know about y'all, but I genuinely care about what is going on with them, because they're going to be painting with me next month. And a lot of my friends come from paint parties because I'm hanging out with them and we're doing stuff together. So what she's walking around and they're like, man, they're so excited. You've got to have some kind of special. She's like, what about doing a VIP special or a pass? And so as we had this energy of everybody so excited and happy to see each other, and the Christmas paintings are on their way, I said, guys, because I didn't want to try to come up with a thing. Well, I did, but I didn't want to announce it yet. I was like, what if I did a $97 special for the next 3 months? It's non-refundable. If they can't come one of the months, they can gift it or they can sell it, but don't sell it over $40, because I'm not trying to breed scalpers here. But you could actually have like 3 events, your ladies' night out is planned, and you get a deal, which was like $23 off. So out of 26 women, I said to them that night in a very loud and noisy room that I had to basically yell to even say, because we're all laughing and having fun. Guys, I just wanted to say really quick, I know we're having a blast and I'm so excited you're here, and just make sure before you leave, I get to take your picture, because I know a lot of y'all are cleaning up and you're getting ready to go. But guys, I have something really awesome for y'all. I have a special I want to tell y'all about, and I want to tell y'all tomorrow. Make sure I have your email, and I did a door prize, but I said make sure I have your email, because tomorrow you're going to get a special discount in your inbox. I had people like double and triple checking to make sure that their emails were on that list, okay? Do you know what I mean? I have to send out like 10 emails to get so many people signed up. These people are like double and triple checking. Like, do you have my email? Like, do you for sure have it? Let me rewrite it. Let me just make sure you have it. So out of 26 people, the next day I came up with this. I'm going to show you exactly what I came up with. And again, this is the beauty of like being able to change your, if you need to change your strategy, if you need to, the beauty of not being part of a chain, okay? Because you can adjust your needs on the fly as you need, as you see something exciting. I'm going to share this. I'm going to share my door prize, which was really awesome. The local goat actually donated the door prize. They were going to do a $20 gift card, but they were just so excited with everybody that they did a $50 gift card that could be used the next time. So again, that brought people to the party for next month. But here's what I came up with. So the door prize was this. This was in their little baggie. And it says, take a photo of yourself or you and your friends painting, or a photo of the painting progress if somebody's not into taking a picture of themselves. Post to Facebook and tag Texas Art and Soul and the Local Goat Distillery. So now you're getting Facebook fans, right? The person with the most likes at the end of the event wins a gift card to Local Goat to be used at the next event, the visit. Good luck. So I didn't even have to run around telling people. They were taking pictures, they were posting, and because everything was in their baggie. And again, it took me like, quite a few hours to get everything gathered. I'm not saying it's like, oh, this is, no work. I'm not saying that. But my mother-in-law at the end, she was helping me clean up, and she's like, oh, you got to clean all this up. And I was like, I just made enough for almost 2 weeks of regular work. Like, I think I'll work good tonight. I'm fine. I would rather work really hard one day than work, 80 hours for 2 weeks at, a job that's barely paying me any day of the week, especially when I get to have fun with all these women. And so this was in their baggie. So that is very important to get emails, which you should be getting when they pay you, or through a door prize. And emails is how you get more people to come to your next event. Now, this is what I came up with. It was a VIP ticket. I called it, and you're welcome to use this, very important painter. And it was really important that the buzz was already built at the event. They were excited. They were talking about the Christmas parties. And I knew my big hole was January. I knew January is where I struggle. I had struggled for years on January, so I actually take most of January off. But I'm always up for experimenting. I'm always up for like, what can I try? Let's see if January can be the best year ever. So message me after January. I'll let you know, because I'm pushing myself, because I used to say summers were a bust. Now summers are like amazing, because somebody challenged me and said, why are summers bad? And I thought, why are they bad? I guess I just thought they were bad. And now I'm like, huge parties in the summer. So always kind of challenge what you say. So that's why earlier when I said about the home parties, I don't want to put any restrictions on you. So when you have those big home parties, please tell me. I just don't like to, I just don't want people invading my home, honestly. I just like to have, I did a kids camp and it made great money, but my husband's like, you cannot do a 4-day camp again. And I mean, they basically destroyed my art studio. And never do salt with watercolor with kids at your home. Bad idea. Very bad idea. So this right here was a VIP, and if they signed up, they got it for $97 instead of $40. So what that did was, now I already have, out of 26 people, 13 immediately bought. Okay? So think of that. Instead of just selling one ticket, now you've sold 3 months of tickets. And you've only done a discount of $23, and it's non-refundable. So I'm not like trying to get them to use this all year. They got 3 days: November, December, January. I didn't even have the paintings ready. I didn't even have this flyer ready. All I did was I took the emails of all the women that were there, that were already excited, that were already talking about this event already. And I sent them an email the very next day, which I told them I was going to do at the event. And I gave them an outline, and I said, Thursday, November 15th is Christmas, all Christmas. Thursday, December 13th is going to be more Christmas, and also painting and gifts for your friends. So I'm basically going to have a couple other options. I'll still have the truck and tree in case somebody couldn't make it. Always have the truck and tree, people. Just note to self, always have the truck and tree that sells itself. And then what you want to do, and then on the Thursday, January 24th, I said, we're going to have painted prayers. And I briefly described painted prayers, inspirational quotes, word of the year. And that's where we do basically a stencil background. And then they pick out their quote ahead of time, and I do it with stencils. So that was a pretty big game changer for me, because, you know, selling your tickets one-off every month is how I've been doing it forever. And I just recently experimented with this, and I just want to tell y'all, because it was a big deal. You know, of course, you don't want to do this to nobody who knows you, you haven't done a party yet. You want to, like, while they're excited, hey guys, I have something really cool I'm going to send you tomorrow. Do y'all have your email? That's how you make the difference. So just little tweaks in your marketing is what's really going to help you with this. Okay, let's see. What is next? How do you charge for a fundraising event? Do you charge, say, 50 instead of 40? Okay, so fundraising is tricky, because if I've tried the 50s, they don't work. Again, depending on your area or where you're at, it can work. I find $40 or $35 works well. And then what I usually do is I give $5 or $10, depending on, you know, what I've worked out with the church or the fundraiser thing. So I find that you still need to mark the parties at 35, at the most 40, to have that gap. And then you bring your price down to 30 or 25 ahead. Okay. So I don't do a ton of fundraisers. Again, I am very open about, I am for profits. I do fundraisers if people request and ask, but I just find that unless I go all the way down to 25, then I'm still, I get a good turnout if I have a $35 price tag. But again, it's, you know, paint parties, especially for big events, it's a lot of prep work. It's a lot of prep work. And 10 party events, not so much prep work. But when you're doing a 50 party, I want to be paid for it. And yes, I'm all about helping others, but, you know, I always say, like, we can't help others if we can't pay our own bills. You know, we still have to make sure we can pay our own bills first too, and then we can obviously help other people as well. So I think that's a personal thing, and I think that's something, you know, if you're in a position where you have you know, your husband, maybe your wife is making the bulk of the money, or you're in a financial position where you can do some of this stuff. I have some of the people in Paint Party headquarters that they're kind of just doing it for fun, and so the pressure of the money really isn't there. So they are donating more of their time, and I think that is wonderful. You know, I think that's a great thing. So I think it just depends on where you're at. We still really, my daughter eats like a 15-year-old teenage boy, and I'm like, what is wrong? Why is our grocery bill over $1,000 a month? What has happened? So we're still in the stage of feeding our family. So I'm not at the stage where it's just giving it away. Okay, so I'm interested in info for painted board painting parties, the prayer board painting parties. Okay, so painted prayers is what I call it. Paint and Praise. It is a perfect January event. So for those of you that want a January event, you need to be marketing about 3 to 4 weeks before. Although I do have a friend she's about 70 or 72. Her name's Rita Barker. I stayed with her when I went to Florida this summer. Me and my daughter do like a 3-week paint party road trip, and it is so much fun. We've done it the past 3 years. And we do this giant haul all the way to Florida, and we do all these paint parties, and we stay with family, friends, and I mean, it is insane. It is so much fun. And anyway, she was so nervous about doing the 3-week, the 4-week turnarounds. She started doing pop-up paint parties. So you may have heard me talk about this before. She'll decide on a Tuesday, she's going to have a pop-up party. Oh, this is for who is talking about their house. She does them at her house. She has about 10 people at a time. She announces on her personal Facebook page on a Tuesday that she's having a pop-up party on Saturday at 10 a.m. and this is the painting. And she has about 10 to 12 people that show up for those, and she is having a blast. Her 90-something-year-old mom comes to those, and they just have so much fun. So I know I talked about money earlier, but it's not always about the money too. It's about the experiences. I know the paint party road trip for me, if my daughter was like, you know, no, I don't want to go to Florida, and you know, I feel like I'm trapping her in a car so we can really bond, you know, that's really the reason. But you know, like if she was like, you know, at a camp or something, I probably wouldn't like be so motivated to do that. But honestly, it's about the experience. It's about what we're getting to bring back memory wise with doing these long road trips like that. So the painted prayers are just lots of stencils. I'm gonna I'll send y'all a picture of some of my painted prayers. Let me write it on my notes. Pics of, I'll send y'all, because I have all y'all's email. I'll send you a couple pictures of my painted prayers, and I have a YouTube video of exactly how I do it. So it's kind of a long one, so it's like an hour, but it's like step by step from the beginning to the end. But the thing that is really cool about the painted prayers is that, oh, good, Judy. That's awesome. So then you don't feel like they're so in your space. She says my studio is separate from my home. Yeah, that's good. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you do that privately? I'm sorry. I love you, Judy. Yeah, so the painted prayers, I'll send you that video too. But yeah, it's what I was going to say. It's like the women are just having a blast. It's not, you don't have to have any art skills for any of that. And let's see. I was doing the canvas work, but I'm also interested in the door hanger as an alternative to keep the variety. Yes, pre-cut hangers, that's, let's see, Craft Creations. I'm putting it in the thing. Craft Creations is where you want to do those. And yes, it is important. I have a sign maker who did all signs, but I don't know if y'all have noticed. Walmart, if you have a Walmart nearby, they started doing like those really cutesy signs. They're like $4.96. I'm like, really? And so I think that it's a good mix. If you have some painting, plus you have the cutesiness with it, you're going to stand out from the crowd still. But if you're just having only a sign with words, they can buy that all day, every day. But again, you have to remember you're selling a social event more than you are a paint party, if that makes sense. do we have to market our event at least 3 weeks before or more? Is a week before the event too short? Okay, so I like 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks before. And I like to do a Facebook event, which those numbers never mesh up. Like you'll invite a bunch of people, but then it'll say like 15 are interested, but you might have 30 signed up already and paid. I mean, nobody does those correctly. Like they just don't. So don't ever count on people who say they're going or say they're interested unless they have paid you. And I will, like if I only have 2 people sign up for an event, I'll cancel it. I'm not just going to show up and hope that people come, because they won't. If they have not already committed through paying ahead of time, they're not going to commit the night of. And I've learned that many, many times, thinking, oh, they say they're coming. Well, I better prepare. And now I've prepared for all these people. And, you know, they get off work and they're tired. But if they've already paid, they're going to show up. Let's see. And the week before, if you're doing a pop-up party like Rita Barker, you can do it a week before. Okay, anybody have any questions before I start hitting all these that y'all sent me?
Yes.
Go for it.
How do you find your helpers or your assistants, and how do you pay them?
Great question. So my daughter, she's 12. She has been helping me with paint parties since she was about 5, 6. It was really hard at first. She would just run around and throw candy, and it was, you know, brushes were all mismatched. But I knew if I kept helping, you know, she'd eventually get it. So, I mean, I think I've hired, you know, I taught high school art, so I've hired a lot of my girl students in the past. Even for photography, like if you get a big church or you get a really cool restaurant, iPhones now, especially the 10s, which I'm hoping to upgrade to, you could get the portrait mode. And it looks like you have a professional, like, you know, photographer there. So use your resources. Again, profit every party. So find a local, you know, college kid that's going to your church. You know, maybe they're home for the summer or home for the holidays looking for some extra money. And I pay, like my daughter, it depends. She actually renegotiated her amount because I was paying her $25 an event. And then she was like, you had 100 and something people here. I think I need to be paid $1 per head. And I was thinking about like, yeah, she worked harder than any adult I hired. So she's renegotiated. And then we have a bonus structure because I think it's really important to teach her how to make money and then how to have a bonus if she does a really great job. So me and my daughter have our own little pay scale. And then usually I hire people for $50 a night. So that's like a 4-hour. So I usually pay over minimum wage just because I want them to want to be there, and I know I'm making really great money, so I like to, you know, share that with other people. But not everybody pays that. Some people just pay $10 an hour. And then if you're doing a church event or you have a friend that really wants to come, but maybe they don't have the money to do it, I have a friend that every time I do a party, she comes and helps me set up and clean up, and then she paints for free. So I'm all about, like, you know, that kind of stuff. And also anybody who is like a hobbyist photographer, like my husband's a hobbyist photographer, but before that, I would just hire, you know, so if I'm traveling, I would message a friend. So when I went to Florida, I messaged a friend of mine and said, do you know any photographers in the area? I'm just looking for somebody for an hour. And then I'll have them come the last hour of the event to take all the pictures while it's all everybody's finishing, right? I mean, I don't need a bunch of pictures of nothing done, you know? So when you're marketing, if you know, score a big event, you know, find a photographer. I think I paid her $100 and she edited them and sent them. That would have taken me hours. So, but I don't do that for all of them. You know, a lot of them, it's just me. Hey guys, make sure you come see me before you leave so I can take a picture, you know, and I snap their picture real quick. I'm very resourceful. That's what you'll find out about me, is I don't like just go spending money like crazy. I make sure if I can do it a different way, I will. I'll, you know, of course I don't want to do it to where, like, for example, some people will say, reuse your tablecloths, or don't use, you know, plastic paper plates for the thing. My thing is no. I want every time they come to a Texas Art and Soul event, I want them to have it fresh, clean, ready for their space. And if they come in and it's this dirty looking, like, I mean, and I know artists, I mean, if you went and saw my studio right now, like it's a disaster. But, you know, if they come in and they have like all this, it looks like you didn't put the time in, don't do that. Like they're paying good money. So provide them a really great atmosphere, you know? And let's see, do you use PayPal for paying? Yes, I use PayPal, and then, but PayPal is just the engine for it. So people can actually pay with their debit and credit card. They don't have to use PayPal. Do we have a calendar of events to show people? I used to, Jude, but I do not do that anymore. The reason why is I would have, like, let's say, because I'm so mobile, because I'm going to a restaurant, I'm going to a church, I'm going to a private party, I'm going to a country club, whatever the case may be. I didn't want to put, well, I was in the past, like my website, something's wrong with my ear, sorry. My website in the past was all about doing, all about the events. Like if you go to my website now, it's catered more towards mentoring people to do events, right? But I still teach paint parties. That's the bulk of my income. So what I do is I use Facebook Buy Sell Trade. This is how I advertise every event. Facebook Buy Sell Trade. My email list, I have a whole list. When I first started teaching paint parties years ago, I didn't know why. I guess God was telling me, save their emails. Get their emails and save them. And I had no idea why. I was like, why am I saving their emails? It's so much work. You know, I had no idea why. Now I know why. Every time I have an event, I have emails that I send out. And for my events, I send 3 to 4 emails out. So I'll send one like 4 weeks out. I'll say, save the date. This is, you know, Christmas is coming. Paint parties are here. And then I'll send one 3 weeks out. I'll send one 2 weeks out. And I'll send one about 3 to 4 days before the event. And some of you that might scare you. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're sending them out. But it's just people are busy. Just like some of y'all signed up yesterday for this class. If I wouldn't have kept sending the email out, you might not have signed up because we have to see it. Then we have to see it again. We have to see it again. Some of y'all might have been on my email list for a year. I have some people that never buy anything for like 2 years. They're like, this girl just keeps sending these stupid emails and okay, I guess I'll buy, you know, but I'm diligent. I keep sending, you know, because I know what I'm offering is something that the people that stay on the email list eventually want because they're still on it. If they didn't want it, they'd unsubscribe. So, so if somebody replies back and says, please, you know, take me off, that's fine. You know, don't get your feelings hurt over it. It's just part of it. And they're not your customer. So, so yeah, don't do the calendar of events, Jude. Do it through Facebook Buy Sell Trade. Do it through getting their emails at the event. That's how you notify them. Do it through a Facebook Live. If you're nervous about that, don't do it. You know, it's not the be all end all. But if I'm nervous, like, or if I don't have my makeup done and I know I need to do a Facebook Live, I'll just point towards my truck and tree and I'll just say, hey, this event's coming up. And you can do that in your Facebook event page. You don't even have to do that on your personal page. One thing that really built my business, and the restaurants will also share it too, and create your flyers in Canva, canva.com. One thing that really built my business was after the parties, I was thanking people on my personal page. Thank you so much, tagging them. Thank you so much for coming to my party. Your paintings turned out great. Nothing major, nothing big. But what happens, especially this next month, is people see it. Then they're like, oh my gosh, that's so cute. Oh my gosh, let's do a get together. They're already getting together for parties, right? So that's really what built my business, was having those posts of thank you so much for coming. If I have a slow week, I'll just go back to a painting party I did last month and I'll just post it and go, oh my gosh, look at this cutie pie. You know, if it's like a little kid party or something, I'll just post it because again, it's just keeping my face and what I'm doing in the forefront. People know if they think Heidi Easley, they think painting parties because that's my thread is that, you know, it's just, and it's not always like sign up for my painting parties. It's almost like thank you. It's almost like gratitude of the paint parties, right? Thank you for coming to this, not can you come to this? my selling, yes, sometimes I do post flyers, but for the most part, my selling is done through email. So on the thread, of course, my Facebook business page is, of course, selling, but my personal page, I try to not sell. And then it's more about here's the thank yous. And then people just see it. And you have to remember too, Facebook, their algorithms are so crazy and they change every 5 seconds. And so not everybody's seeing your stuff. So sometimes we think, oh, I don't want to post that again, or I don't want to talk about that because, you know, grandma's going to think, who cares? Like, you know, they can, again, unfriend you if they're tired of your stuff, but probably 1/10 of the people are only seeing it anyway. Getting people to pay. Yes, that's where you do clear calls to action. So my flyer, which I'm going to show y'all again, this big one. And my flyer here is I don't have any nonsense. I don't have any words that don't need to be there. If it's on there, it is needed, okay? So painter's choice, they get to choose. Thursday, November 15th, $40. Register in advance by emailing, okay? So if I had a link, which that link is kind of funky because it's a PayPal link, I know it's funky. So when I'm posting this in the buy, sell, trade pages, I don't want it to be weird and funky. So I just say, email me, plus I can give this to the restaurant and then they get an email. When they email me, I just send them the PayPal link, okay? PayPal is amazing with their customer service. If you are not sure how to create a button for this, just go to PayPal, call them, and just ask them to walk you through. They're really, really good about that. Okay, so let's see. Do you use SEO to promote your events? No, I do not use search engine optimization. I wish I was that smart, Jude. I'm looking to hire somebody. Are you smart at that? Are you really good at that?
I am.
You are?
I have some knowledge about it.
Oh, do you know how to do YouTube stuff?
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Yeah.
we need to talk.
I do manage a lady who is doing how do you call it, recipe in YouTube, and I did some SEO on all of her titles of the YouTube. Now she's getting a lot of traffic.
Okay, so message me because I might need to hire
Okay.
you because I'm actually I already put out a couple ads for somebody to help me with my YouTube. So awesome, thank you. Yeah, message me because I need to know your prices.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, so I do not, again, because I'm not that smart. Everybody has their skill. I wish I was, I know the tech stuff to what I need to know, and then I hire out. I'm smart enough to know what I can do and what I don't want to learn to do. So make sure, guys, a lot of times too with paint parties, again, just like that apron, we can be so tied up with all of the little things that we don't just, what's going to make me money? Oh, I need to message this restaurant and then I need to set a date. Oh yeah, I probably should have a painting. You don't even need a painting until you've set a date. I know that seems backwards, but I used to paint like all these paintings and think, okay, now I'm ready. No, you don't even need a painting. And then that's the thing, people, especially if you're doing a private party, they would message, hey, I want a private party.
Oh.
Maybe I want a butterfly. Well, I'm not going to go paint 12 butterflies hoping it's the right one. What I do, and this is a trick, and this is do not copyright, but what I'll do is I'll pick a couple of Google images that I think might work, that I could change up into my own style. Then I'll send 3 of those images, and I'll say, hey, these are not my designs, but these are a couple of ideas. Tell me which one you're leaning towards. Then once they choose that idea, now I go create a painting after I booked the event. So that is all backwards from what you're probably thinking about booking events. So
Yeah, it is.
yeah, you do not have to paint anything to book an event. It's weird, I know, but it's true. Okay, do we have to have insurance to our events? I just heard about that and it's very important. I am not sure, and I think it's pricey to have one specifically to us newbies. What do you think? Okay, so my surfboard business I had in Florida, I had to have personal liability because it was out on a concrete slab. I had to buy that there. And again, every state is different. Going to restaurants, they already have insurance. I have never had to have insurance going to a restaurant. Again, I am not, I always tell people I can tell you everything about, building your paint party business and making people come to your events and all of the nooks and crannies of that. But when it comes to like taxes and insurance, I trust my CPA for taxes because every state is different. So I save every single receipt. You don't, unless you're going, like if you're going to a lot of private homes, you could do a personal liability insurance, which that's just, if you want to, again, you can probably find some cheap plans in your state. But to let you know, because I go to mostly churches and restaurants, I do not personally have personal life. I have my own insurance and then they have their insurance. So restaurants have their insurance, churches have their insurance, and then some might ask you that. And if you can't afford that insurance, I've had a lady in my paint party headquarters. She's like, this country club wants me to do these events, but nobody has signed up yet. So it wasn't a guarantee. They wanted her to go out and her cheapest policy, I think, was like $1,200 or something like that. And she's like, I don't even know if I'm going to have this event. And the country club already has insurance protecting the country club. So I think it's just being smart. I don't think, you having 4 people around your dining room table teaching a paint party requires, $1,000 policy. You already have homeowners insurance. You have, there's so many things that probably already cover that. So again, I'm not sitting here saying that's the exact thing to do. Always check. And if you're a person, smarter with that, check that and go to that. And then CPA, as far as your taxes go, contact a CPA. I save every receipt. Every single receipt is written off. And it has so helped me with my taxes. So make sure you save all of your receipts. If I go to Michael's and I drive through McDonald's to get a drink, I know it seems weird, but I saved that receipt because my CPA said I could. I write off several places in my home that I work from, which I work in this office. So this footage gets written off in taxes, and my cell phone gets written off. Part of my utilities get written off. But again, that has to do with your CPA, and I just add everything up at the end, and then I hand it over, and he does his magic. So, so with the taxes, trust the CPA, but I promise you, save your receipt. In Texas anyway, I can even write off my clothes, because my clothes get destroyed. I wear, I have like a brand, like I wear cowboy boots every event, it's Texas Heart and Soul. So I kind of have like a image that I want to portray at every event, so that when people come to a Texas Heart and Soul event, it's always the same. So, so think about that too. That's kind of like on a side note. Oh, I froze up. Can y'all see me? Man, I think I need to get my ears adjusted. Have y'all ever gotten your ears adjusted at a chiropractor? It's crazy. I didn't know they could do that till recently, but they can, and it's really cool. Where can I find supplies such as brushes, aprons, easels, paint in bulk, and other supplies necessary? Should I limit to 5 main brushes if those are the ones you'd recommend? Okay, so Naomi, I hope I'm saying that right. Yes, okay, so I sent you an email with all of the supplies list. Can you talk about the name a little? Oh, how to pick a name, Judy? Is that right? Yeah, and then brushes, I try to limit to 3 to 4. Here's the main 3 brushes, and I sent it in that supply list. A liner brush from Walmart. You can get 10 of these for $4.96. A 6 round, this one's a little bigger, but I couldn't find it. But a 6 round is really good. And you can get those at Michael's, or Walmart has a lot of good stuff, or Jerry's Artorama. Jerry's Artorama, it's online. And then 2, like a 1-inch or 2-inch flat. And this is, y'all can tell these get used and abused. I don't spend a lot of money on brushes. I make sure they're good. I've checked my email and I do not have the supply list. Okay, so anybody that does not have the supply list in their email, message me, because it should have came right at noon. Yeah, message me privately on Facebook or email me, and I will make sure that you have that supply list, because it has every single resource I use. So I want y'all to have that. Judy, can you talk about the name a little bit? Is that what you were saying, like picking a name? Will you confirm that or if you can talk, you can say it. Oh, yes. Okay. So picking a name, you want something that, and again, profit every party. I want you just getting out there and today messaging some restaurants. Like that's what I want. So earlier I told you that little spill of what to say. I got an email at 10:30 and right before I said, yeah, the one when you started should have 2 images that has the supply list. And then Ginger, if you don't have it, I'll make sure you get it. Don't worry. I'll resend it at the end. But the main thing I want you to worry about, like, because we can, of course, I'll tell you how to do a business name, but we can get so distracted on like trying to come up with a Facebook business name, trying to do this, that. Nobody cares. Like, I mean, yes, we care as we're building it, but like when you're first starting it, just start booking parties. It'll all start to come, I promise. And I know it seems like, you know, that's the cart before the horse, but it's so true. It's really just about getting the parties booked, like this week. Oh my gosh, if you just message 20 restaurants in your 10 to 15 minute area, I bet you'll get at least two that will be ready to book with you the first week of December. So the first week of December on a Monday, Tuesday, or even, you know, a Wednesday night is great. That would be awesome night to do it, starting at 6 p.m., 6 to 8:30, and then go from there. But yeah, picking a business name, you want to make sure you can spell it easily. Do not pick anything that's confusing. Do not get crazy creative like Craft Creations, as much as I love them with all my heart. I get so sick and tired of telling everybody how to spell their name. I'm telling you, nobody remembers it. They're all like, I can't find them. And it's so frustrating. So yeah, do not pick a name that is hard to spell. And also, when I picked a name, here's how I do it. I take a piece of paper. I write down about 20 words that mean something to me. So Texas, obviously, Art and Soul. My last business was called My Soul Is Yours. So I love the word soul for some reason. It came to me in a dream, and that name did, and I just wrote it down in the middle of the night. And then it was like 6 months later, this business came up, and I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, I don't know. I always pray about business names, but write down like 20 to 30 words that mean something to you. And then just start kind of mad-libbing them, like putting them together, seeing what looks good, and then pray about it. Again, I told y'all I talk openly about God, and I'm sorry if that offends some of y'all, but I do. I write them down, and then for about 3 to 4 days, I just kind of put them together, and I pray about them, and I'll come up with about the top 3. And then it doesn't have to technically say paint parties in it. Like Texas Art and Soul is my big name, and then I can umbrella, so I can have, you know, whatever on this. I can do a slime party, which slime parties we didn't even talk about for, you know, kids. A kids party here. I could do a jewelry making party. You know, I can do anything. I can move it around. It's not just paint parties. So yeah, just make sure, oh my gosh, make sure it does not have a weird spelling. Don't get creative on this part, okay? Don't get creative. Do we have to create many events this December, like at least one each week, or just hoping to do one big one? I would try to shoot for 2 big December events. If you're new to it, and you're new to the paint party part of it, I would do something like a truck and tree. I would also do, and guys, you know, if you want, I know you are here just for the crash course, but if you want to go to my Texas Art and Soul, just for the truck and tree, please don't steal all my other designs, because I sell those through a Paint Party Headquarters. That's part of the membership. They get a monthly design from me, so that they never have to think about what to create. I just always have the newest on-trend thing ready. But you are welcome to use my truck and tree as just this one. Don't, again, unless you're in Paint Party Headquarters, don't steal my designs, but you can pull my truck and tree and advertise it as your party. Send that to some restaurants today. I give you permission for the truck and tree. So you should be able to get some events, you know, by the end of the week, just from that truck and tree scheduled. So again, I repeat, don't steal all my designs. I'm just giving you the rights to that one to use immediately. So I just really want you to get some momentum and get a party booked. So I would try to have 2. And I would try to, I mean, I've done parties all the way up to December 23rd. I don't like to do that. I find that November 1st through December 20th is like go time for Christmas. Don't do any fall this month. No fall. I know that seems mean, but just don't do fall. Do all Christmas. My November 1st starts Christmas. Let's see. That is sweet of you to offer. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, I mean, if you can look at it and just kind of do it, yeah, just grab that image and just start. And you're so welcome. I just want y'all to like get one booked, because once you get one booked and then once you teach it, then you get excited and then you get confidence and then you're gonna just go for it. Thank you for the great info. Have to go to work. Oh yes, have a good day at work. Oh my gosh, is it already 2? What other questions do I still need to ask? Where do you sign up for Paint Party Headquarters? And the doors are closed right now, but since you're on my email list, I'm doing a big launch in January, but I'm doing like a 2-day launch only to my email list, but it won't be till I think the first week of December. So we still have a few weeks before I open the doors. And I only open the doors a few times a year for that, but right now it's closed. If you want on the wait list, just send me an email and I'll send you a link for the wait list. Okay, so let me make sure I got through all these. And if y'all need to go, thank y'all so much for taking the time out. I'm going to make sure I get through all these questions. I don't want to leave the ones that people sent. How can I get a lot of new clients? Start my friends. We went over that. What is the best free way online to bring people to paint parties? Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and YouTube. Yeah, Facebook is definitely a great way through Facebook events and mainly through those buy-sell trade groups. And then also doing paint party, like thanking people publicly on your private Facebook page. That is huge. What is the best time interval to launch paint parties? Every week or once a month? I like to do once a month at restaurants, and then at churches, it's usually once a year. So big churches, I'll like rotate them. So I'll have like, you know, a big event in May or whatever. So like really build the relationship when you have, especially the opportunity. I say anywhere. I mean, I don't like to think any event's too small because you never know, you know, by getting their email or maybe it leads to another reference. But always like when you secure an event, I mean, go out of your way, like be nice to those people. It just being kind to people makes all the difference, and asking them like, you know, what's new and exciting in your world? The secret question, guys, I'm telling you, that question, like any awkward situation, that also works for Christmas parties, Thanksgiving events. It works for all those. Like there's always the awkward silence, and not with me. I'm like, what's new and exciting in your world? And then I just listen. I don't have to talk. I just listen and I just have fun. And then we end up talking about cruises and fun, cool stuff. So use that question. But yeah, once a month at restaurants, once a year at churches. How many days do you promote paint parties before you launch it? 3 weeks to a month with those emails going out. Oh, the SEO, we got that one, which you're going to email me about, Jude, which I might need to hire you for my YouTube. How do you get repeat customers in your paint party events? Okay, the way to get repeat customers is being awesome at your first paint party with them. Getting to know them, you know, caring about their life, you know, asking them that secret question, what's new and exciting in your world? I can be hopping around to 40 different people, but they still have this personal touch because I've taken a second. And I always pray before my events. I'm like, you know, I know whatever's going on in their life, there's a reason they're here tonight. Just let me show kindness. And so when I'm walking around, I make sure, even if it's for a split second, because you'll have people that really don't need or want any of your help. And so I just make sure, like, I've stopped by, I've looked them in the eye, you know, how are you doing tonight? Oh my gosh, thank you for coming. You know, even if that's all it was, and then you're taking the picture at the end, that makes all the difference than somebody that's just standing up there. You know, I'm telling you, I hardly ever paint at my events. I show a technique and then I walk around and blab. I show a technique and then I walk around and blab. It's all about just having fun and being kind and creating a space for them to have fun. What type of painting can we use to do the paint party that increases truck and tree? I'm telling you, it will sell itself. How to accept payment, PayPal. You can also, Facebook has a new thing. I don't use the Facebook things. They've had a lot of security issues, but people have used that. You can also use like the Square, stuff like that. But again, some of the new phones don't have the adapter to do the Square. I rarely take checks. But churches usually pay me the night of. I'll do a $300 deposit, then they'll do the night of. I do not use Eventbrite, and I do not rent a hall. All of my locations are free. Always, again, there are so many locations. Don't get bent up if somebody tells you no. Move on. Like, okay, it's a no, not right now. Move to the next one. There's too many places to get stuck going, why? But why? Who cares? Go to the next place. You know, that next place might have a zillion customers for you. And so don't get stuck in that. I don't rent places. Should I invest in a standalone, rent a space, or be mobile? Be mobile. That's my advice. Mobile. You never know. Your family might change. Y'all might have to move, a job. I don't know, whatever the case may be. But in my experience, and even me, I kind of watch, like we have some local places here. I'll watch to see if they're filled. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a Friday night and they have 2 people signed up. No, it just kills me. I want to go, no, do it different, and I'm thinking they still have electricity. They have everything to pay before they ever make a profit. And I'm like, I just drove 20 minutes and I made this much money and it's all profit, So I'm just all about being able to move with the economy and what's going on. And I think that's probably due to my bankruptcy. I'm like, I'm not putting myself in that position again. I'm making sure. The pros and cons, I think just, being stuck, a sitting duck. Again, if that's your lifelong dream to have an art studio, I'm not here to stop you. It is your business. That's why people have asked me to do franchises, and I'm not up for that. I don't want to do franchising. I like people we're creative. We like to change things up. We like to move around, and I like to move things around. And I don't want to set myself in this boundary, and now I've set you in a boundary when I'm like, well, crap, we could have made this much money if we'd have done this month. So I like for y'all to have that freedom. And so it's your business. So you run it however you want. This is just my advice. Where would I start to order supplies on a low budget? Again, we went over that in great detail. Don't order stuff if you don't have the money yet. How do I approach? We talked about that. Do I need insurance? Talked about that. When you host a private party, does the host participant pay? Okay, so she's asking, when you host a private party, does the host participant paint for free? I have done that before in the past where I'll say, if you have 10 people, you can paint for free. And then it really helps the host. I mean, I know it's only $35, but you'd be surprised. People are like, oh, I'm going to, they'll really help the communication. And so that does work. And then I always do a thank you note. So even if you write it before and send it out the next day, thank you so much for letting me have the paint party there. It was so much fun. I really appreciate it. Just sending them a little thank you note goes a long way too. Let's see, ins and outs. We talked about that. Financial, how to get new people to sign up. We talked about that. Bicycle trade. Church parties and payments. I'm planning a church party probably between Thanksgiving and Christmas. How do I ask them to pay? Do I get a deposit and everyone pay when I get there, or all the money up front? How do I ask for it? And church parties, again, I usually ask for whoever the women's leader is, a $300 deposit at the beginning. And then everybody signs up through the online church. It's like the event thing. So those numbers are not always okay. Their church events are always a surprise. I'll have 30 people signed up 4 days before, and then it'll jump to 80 the day of. So just be flexible, be ready. Once you start to kind of like really communicate with the women's director and have a firm deadline, we need to sign up at least 2 days before, and if they communicate that right, what I've found is if the hostess or the church women's leader is communicating it right, it'll be great. But our job as the owner of our paint party business, we have got to communicate it right to the hostess. We're not telling them, hey, this is really how we're going to get great signups. I need, an email 4 days, 4 weeks before, 3 weeks, and they'll put it in their newsletter. Like if you can work with somebody who's really trained on doing that, it goes so smooth. I mean, it's so smooth. But if you have somebody, I have somebody that I work with that's really, really like green with marketing, and I have to, I'm not mean about it. I just know she doesn't know. And she thinks it can be told once to the church congregation and they'll all show up. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry. You know, if you do it this way, and I have to basically handhold and say, on this date, if you could send this, on this date, if you could send this. And as long as you're doing it like nice and not rude, you know, but you're like, oh, this would make our event more successful. Especially if it's a fundraiser, you know, they have investment in it as well. I think just really being open and honest. And then we have a lady, sweet lady named Kelly in our paint party headquarters that she is so oversharing. She created a whole hostess like welcome packet, and it comes with like, she's like got PDFs and all this information, and she goes full on out. She has like a hostess contract. It's pretty crazy. And she does big church events like I do, and she is just loving it. She has so much fun, and she makes it more official, where I'm more just on the phone and through email. So again, it both works. And then let's see, I think that was it. Okay, let me check the chat one more time. Okay, Paint Party Headquarters, do you have to provide flyers? Yes, you do need to provide your own flyers to the restaurant owner to market your events. And again, on those flyers, canva.com, make it a beautiful picture. I mean, you can paint the greatest picture, and you can go, again, don't steal my designs unless you're in Paint Party Headquarters, but you can go to my Texas Art and Soul images, and you can see how I take my pictures of my finished products. A lot of times they'll be, I'll show you all this really quick. I know we're running over time. I'm so sorry. I just want to make sure I get y'all everything. So if you go to like Texas Art and Soul, you can see that some of my pictures, okay. So if you go to images or videos, I have it set up as a video thing. And if you go to videos, it should bring up my images too. And there's a ton of, well, photos. There it is, photos. Okay, so see this right here? This is how I'm showing that. So if you look here, I just zoomed in, but that's that picture right there. So I just took it like, because sometimes it's more interesting than just the image. And then, yeah, see, this is the thing, guys. Y'all can have parties this big, like this next month, because everybody's already getting together. There's me in my little Grinch sweatshirt. I love that sweatshirt. But it's like, I don't always, you want to make them like, make sure they're interesting. So if I took like the truck and tree, so this is the one y'all can pull off of here if you want. Oh, there's some more. So the truck and tree here, and then that's like on my fireplace. So I took it and actually decorated it. It wasn't even Christmas yet. I kind of decorated around it, how they could see it in their house. So it's almost like you're staging, you know, like you're staging something. And so like, again, if you're marketing, if your picture, and that's where I think people, and I'm not trying to sell you on Paint Party Headquarters because it's not open right now anyway. But I think that's why people like Paint Party Headquarters, is because I just give it to them. I'm like, here's your marketing pack, here's your painting tutorial, here's step-by-step how to do it. And then they don't even have to think. They just grab my stuff and they start advertising, and they can immediately start. So grab that truck and tree and start to send that one picture of that truck and tree with that little verbiage I gave you today, and send that to, like I said, 20 to 25 restaurants, and just say, looking to set up a couple events into November, you know, even, I mean, it's November 6th. You could probably get an event that week of the week of the 26th. You know, the 27th might be a little hard because it's right after, but that first week of December is like gold mine for paint parties. I just telling you guys, it is so much fun because everybody's doing stuff. They're all doing stuff, and they want that for decorating. So send that out today. I challenge you. I challenge you, your homework is to send out to at least 10 restaurants or churches, but 10 restaurants would be pretty easy. Say that little verbiage I gave you on the slow night with the image of the truck and tree, and then just let me know at the end of the week if you got any takers. Okay, I'd just love to hear. All right, any last questions? I'm sorry I blabbed so much. Anything else? And if y'all want to say, if you want to talk, you can. If you want to unmute. No, you do not have to give the restaurant a profit. You provide the restaurant the flyer. So I sent that flyer to the local goat, which they're advertising on their restaurant website or their Facebook. And then I don't give them a profit. What they're getting is 26 to 40 women for 3 hours to eat and drink on a slow night where they wouldn't have anybody. Are you saying we can use your photo of the truck and tree? Yes, Ginger. I am saying yes, you can use my photo of the truck and tree. And if you're an experienced painter, you can go ahead and paint it up. You could even paint it on canvas with a black background. It looks really pretty. But just don't steal my other stuff, please, unless you're in Paint Party headquarters. I'm very giving in Paint Party headquarters, but don't just grab all my stuff if you're not a member. Oh, you're welcome. Okay, any other questions? Are y'all ready to go out and try to get some people? Anybody excited?
I'm excited.
Yay. I'm telling you, just look at like an hour radius, just an hour radius. Oh my gosh. Thank you for everything. Oh, you're welcome. We would love to hear more about the headquarters. Okay, so if anybody wants to stay on just to hear, I'll do like a quick thing of what you get. But again, it's not open until December. Can't wait to share with you my first party. Heather, I know, I can't wait to see y'all's first party. Yeah, and slime parties. Me and my daughter Pixie, we were YouTubing last night Christmas slimes because I love slime parties because kids just literally like it's so funny. People will be like, they all know how to do slime. They all do slime at home. Why would they pay you? They still pay you, I promise. It's like 20, 25 a head, and they know what to do. Like, you just provide it, and they just have a blast. So we're getting together. I think I'm going to do like a, I know it sounds weird, but like a slime and Santa, like a Christmas slime and Santa. I will have my next party this weekend. Yay, Jude. Oh, that's awesome. We will paint a pumpkin with a sunflower. I know may it be late, but sunflowers and pumpkins, they are so popular. Yes. Spring sunflowers, people. Sunflowers are so good. And this one right here, I sell this one so much. Let me share it with you. This one right here, I actually taught this in California. Oh, can y'all see that? That was one of my Paint Party headquarters thing. Yeah, this sunflower, enjoy every moment. You don't have to have a vinyl cutter to have success in this, but it is definitely helpful. So, okay, so let me show y'all what I have in Paint Party headquarters. You probably just find the wait list and it explains it all. So if you go to my Texas Art and Soul page, and I'm not doing a full launch of this until January, but I'm just going to open it up to my email list for just a couple days. I think the first week of December. But if you go to my website, right here under Grow Paint Party Headquarters, basically what it is, and this is what I give every month to them. We have over 100 people all over the world. We have people from Ireland. There's a lady from France. We have somebody in Australia. It's so cool. And then, of course, people all over the United States and Canada. And so every month, this is what I give. So you can sign up to be on the wait list. And it's basically a monthly. So like the truck and tree, I gave it to them early. I gave it to them in October so they could already start selling it. And they're all like, man, this truck and tree is amazing. I mean, they're all just having all these parties with it, which I love. And so I teach them step by step. So if you are new to painting or you're new to painting this style, like this is kind of more of a, cutesy. I mean, I hate to use the word cutesy, but it is, something cute for decoration. I teach you step by step. So like one day they'll get the exact step-by-step tutorial. It's a video, a supply list. You also get the step-by-step, so you can literally just print this. So if you're doing a 4-party restaurant like I do, you could just print this, fold it up, and it's done for you. And you just put it in your thing. Because it's more like these people are coming in, yes, they're learning about paint parties, but they're really every month, it's almost like you're getting all of the lessons for you. So then you get the marketing pack. So every month they get a marketing pack, which has the JPEGs ready to just start sending and using. And everything's on trend. And again, I've done this business for so many years that I kind of found the groove of like what works and how I can consistently do this. And I'm out there in the trenches too. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not a person that's just like, good luck, I did this years ago. Like I'm doing these actively now. So every time I learn something new, I share with them. And then what's been the awesomest part about this, I don't know if awesomeness is a word, but the best part about this has been everybody else in there sharing. Like they're like, yeah, this is a new painting I worked on. You can have rights to it. Like they're giving their rights to their paintings, and I provide bonuses every month. It's so cool. And then I also teach you how to grow your social media on there. So just I sell a training for $277. And I gave it to my paint party headquarters. So, and they're, paying so much a month, which isn't even near that. I think when it opens up again, it'll be, just so y'all know, it'll be $32 a month. So it's not like, it's hundreds of dollars a month. And I gave them that whole training. So some of them are already using it. I'm like, okay, slow down. They just get so excited. And then monthly Q&A. I'm always in there doing Facebook Lives, always answering questions. Yeah, I'm very active in that group. If y'all haven't noticed, I kind of overshare. And then we do a gratitude and prayer meeting every month. So I pray for your businesses, and we do like a little Bible study kind of thing. It's like a 15-minute. I just really, and it's totally optional. Sometimes we have 2 ladies that show up. Sometimes we have 10. And it's just totally optional. And I don't record that. And I just, it's kind of just a place for us to pray for each other. And then we added Zoom parties, which is a Zoom room like this, where we do, it's kind of like a goal setting party, where you tell me like how many paint parties you're trying to get this month, or what's going on. And then I tell you exactly what you need to do to get there. So it's just kind of keeps you on track. So it's pretty cool. Let's see. Please open now. I know. I'm sorry, Ginger. I'm very, very strict with the open and closed doors, because it's crazy. When I used to have an online boot camp, which I'm totally revamping into. It hasn't even been released yet, so you are hearing it first. But for Black Friday, I'm doing a paint party backstage pass, and it's like 6 backstage passes, and it's these trainings. And so I used to have an online boot camp that I just left open. I mean, I did it 3.5 years ago, and I just left it open all the time. And it seemed like I was always selling. It seemed like I was pulling teeth, like I'd get a bunch, and then it'd be like, oh, and then I'd have to remarket. And I was always in this constant sales mode. Now I'm like, no, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going to launch a couple times a year. That way, when I'm not launching, I can just really help who is in there. So yeah, it'll be open soon, Ginger. Don't worry. It's a few more weeks and I'll open it. And y'all are on my email list. So as long as you're getting my emails every week, you'll see it. But yeah, it just makes me not as stressed when I can just say, okay, these are the doors. You got 4 days. Okay, now they're shut. Let's not talk about it again. Okay, now they're open. Just way easier on everybody. Okay, any last questions or final thoughts? And y'all can unmute yourself if you want to say anything. Anything? Everybody good?
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah, go for it, Carolyn.
When you, like for Texas Art and Soul, I think that's the cutest name for a business, especially your kind of business. But now what do we do? Trademark the name or And do you have to register? I mean, I know you have to register as a business for your taxes, but register your business name to keep other people from taking it and doing paint parties with your name.
Yeah, so you want to make sure that it's open on Facebook. So like if people search Texas Art and Soul, they're going to find me because I've been on Facebook since 2013 building that page. So you want to make sure it's open. So like I had a girl in Paint Party Headquarters that wanted to do true colors, but she's like, oh my gosh, there's so many out there that have true colors. So she didn't pick that because it was so overtaken. So I would Google it on just a website. I would Google it for Facebook business to see if anybody has it yet. And then if they don't, again, don't worry so much about a website right now. Like if y'all concentrate like on the website and all of that stuff right now, you're going to miss this window of these easy money Christmas parties. So the main thing is to get those messages out to those restaurants like today. And then once you find your name, once you decide on your name, if it's not already taken in, like if you go to www.yourname.com, it's open, that's a good sign. And then on Facebook, if it's open, it's a good sign. But do not, I repeat, do not pick anything that is spelled weird.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you can trademark it. So like I came up with a thing called Pray, Paint, Repeat. And, you know, because I talk a lot about, you know, paint and praises and stuff like that. And so I could go through the trouble to do that. But honestly, to like when you sell like merchandise like that, which I went through this, I was like, oh, this is so cute. And people are asking for it. I make nothing off of selling mugs and shirts. Like I'm just not at that level in my business where that's a lot of money for me. So it doesn't make sense for me to go trademark that. So somebody could steal it and, you know, I might regret it later, but it's right now in the stage I'm at, it's not worth it to make $4 off of a shirt. You know, I just would rather not. I'd rather do something else with my time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. Any other questions? Thank y'all for staying here. This was a long meeting, so good job. Y'all are ready. All right, well, I'm going to send y'all pictures and the link to the painted prayers so y'all can watch that whenever you want. That is a really, really fun and great one to do in January. And then, yeah, let me know. Again, like I said, if you're on my email list, you'll still be hearing from me because it's all about marketing, guys. 90%. If you could have the greatest stuff in the world, but if nobody knows you're doing it, they're not going to sign up for it. So you have to let them know. So thank y'all so much for being here, and just let me know if y'all have any questions, okay? Bye, guys.
Thank you, Heidi.
You're welcome. Thank y'all. See you later.
Bye.